Okay, this is Act 2, Scene 1 of Macbeth and Scene. How's the night going, boy?
The moon has set, the clock hasn't struck yet.
The moon sets at 12, right?
I think it is later than that, sir.
Here, take my sword. The heavens are being stingy with their light. Take this, too. I'm tired and feeling heavy, but I can't sleep. Merciful powers, keep away the nightmares that plague me when I rest. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
You're not asleep yet, sir? The king's in bed. He's been in an unusually good mood and has granted many gifts to your household and servants. This diamond is a present from him to your wife for her boundless hospitality.
Because we were unprepared, the king's visit. We weren't able to entertain him as well as we would have wanted to.
Everything's okay. I had a dream last night about 3 witches. At least part of what they said about you is true.
I don't think about them now, but when we have an hour to spare, we can talk more about it, if you're willing.
Whenever you like.
If you stick with me, when the time comes, there will be something in it for you.
I'll do whatever you say, as long as I can do it with a clear conscience.
Rest easy in the meantime.
Thank you, sir. You do the same.
Go and tell your mistress to strike the bell when my drink is ready. Get yourself to bed. Is this a dagger I see in front of me with its handle pointing towards my hand? Come, let me hold you. I don't have you, but I can still see you. Fateful apparition, isn't it possible to touch you as well as see you? Or are you nothing more than a dagger created by the mind, a hallucination from my fevered brain? I can still see you, and you look as real as this dagger that I'm pulling out now. You're leading me toward the place I was going already, and I was planning to use a weapon just like you. My eyesight must either be the one sense that's not working, or else it's the only one that's working right. I can still see you, and I see the blood splotches on your blade and handle that weren't there before. There's no dagger here. It's the murder I'm about to do that's making me think I see one. Now half of the world is asleep and being deceived by evil nightmares. Witches are offering sacrifices to their goddess Hesate. Old man Murder, having been roused by the howls of his wolf, walked silently to his destination, moving like Tarquin. As quiet as a ghost, hard ground, don't listen to the direction of my steps. I don't want you to echo back where I am and break the terrible stillness of this moment. A silence that is so appropriate for what I'm about to do. While I stay here talking, Duncan lives. The more I talk, the more my courage cools. I'm going now. The murder as good as done. The bell is telling me to do it. Don't listen to the bell, Duncan, because it summons you either to heaven or hell.
The alcohol that got the servants drunk has made me bold. The same liquor that quenched their thirst has fired me up. Listen, quiet. That was the owl that shrieked, with a scary good night like the bells they ring before they execute people. Macbeth must be killing the king right now. The doors to Duncan's chambers are open, and the drunk servants made a mockery of their jobs by snoring instead of protecting the king. I put so many drugs in their drinks that you can't tell if they're alive or dead.
Who's there? What is it?
Oh no, I'm afraid the servants woke up and the murder didn't happen. For us to attempt murder and not succeed would ruin us. Listen to that. I put the servants' daggers where Macbeth wouldn't find them, or would find them. He couldn't have missed them. If Duncan hadn't reminded me of my father when I saw him sleeping, I would have killed him myself. My husband.
I have done the deed. Did you hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Didn't you say something?
When?
Just now.
As I came down?
Yes.
Listen. Who's sleeping in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
That's a stupid thing to say.
One of the servants laughed in his sleep, and one cried, "Murder!" And they woke each other up. I stood and listened to them, but then they said their prayers and went back to sleep.
Malcolm and Donalbain are asleep in the same room.
One servant cried, "God bless you," and the other replied, "Amen," as if they had seen my bloody hands listening to their frightened voices. I couldn't reply amen when they said, "God bless us."
Don't think about it so much.
But why couldn't I say amen? I desperately needed God's blessing, but the word amen stuck in my throat.
We can't think that way about what we did. If we do, it'll drive us crazy.
I thought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more. MacBeth is murdering sleep. Innocent sleep. Sleep that soothes away all your worries. Sleep that puts each day to rest. Sleep that relives the weary labor and heals hurt minds. Sleep, the main course of life's feast and the most nourishing."
What are you talking about?
The voice kept crying, "Sleep no more," to everyone in the house. "MacBeth has murdered sleep, and therefore MacBeth will sleep no more."
Who said that? Why, my worthy lord, you let yourself become weak when you think about the things in this cowardly way. Go get some water and wash this bloody evidence from your hands. Why did you carry these daggers out of the room? They have to stay there. Go take them back and smear the sleeping guards with the blood.
I can't go back. I'm afraid, even to think about what I've done. I can't stand to look at it again.
Coward, give me the daggers. Dead and sleeping people can't hurt you any more than pictures can. Only children are afraid of scary pictures. If Duncan bleeds, I'll paint the servants' faces with his blood. We must make it seem like they're guilty.
Where is that knocking coming from? What's happening to me? That I'm frightened of every noise. Whose hands are these? Ha! They're plucking out my eyes. Will all the water in the ocean wash this blood from my hands? No, instead my hands will stain the seas scarlet, turning the green waters red.
My hands are as red as yours, but I would be ashamed if my heart were as pale and weak. I hear someone knocking at the south entry. Let's go back to our bedroom. A little water will wash away the evidence of our guilt. It's so simple. You've lost your resolve. Listen, there's more knocking. Put on your nightgown in case someone comes and sees that we're awake. Snap out of your daze.
Rather than have to think about my crime, I prefer to be completely unconscious. Wake, Duncan, with your knocking. I wish you could. A sound of knocking.
What?
From off stage. Who is off?
Okay, sorry. We have to cut that out.
We can't cut stuff out.
Yes, you can.
Can we?
Yes.
Because I started reading
Figure it
the
out.
subtitles.
Okay. We're gonna cut that out.
Continue. There's a lot of knocking. Come to think of it, if a man were in charge of opening the gates of hell to let people in, he would have turned the key a lot. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the devil's name? Maybe it's a farmer who killed himself because grain was cheap. You're here just in time.
Okay, you'd have to read that over, man.
Okay, we need to figure out how to cut all this.
Yeah,
Because
we will,
after
we
this,
will,
it
we
went
will.
bad.
We will, it's okay.
Okay, start from the beginning.
Sorry. From the top. Let's go.
Okay, you can't laugh.
Okay. From the
Okay.
top.
There's a lot of knocking. Come to think of it, if
Why are you laughing? Do I need to be Porter?
no, it's just the fact that he keeps killing himself.
Do I need to be Porter?
No, we just need to cut all this out.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you got me.
All right. Okay. From the top. This is a lot of knocking. Come to think of it, if a man were in charge of opening the gates of hell to let people in, he would have to turn the key a lot. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? In the devil's name. Maybe it's a farmer who killed himself because grain was cheap. You're here just in time. I hope you brought some handkerchiefs. You're going to sweat a lot here. Knock, knock. Who's there? In the other devil's name. Maybe it's some slick, two-faced con man who lied under oath, but he found out that you can't lie to God, and now he's going to hell for perjury. Come on in, con man. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Maybe it's an English tailor who liked to skimp on the fabric for people's clothes. But now that tight pants are in fashion, he can't get away with it. Come on in, tailor. You can heat up your iron in here. Knock, knock. Never a moment of peace. Who are you? Ah, this place is too cold to be hell. I won't pretend to be the devil's porter anymore. I was going to let someone from every profession into hell. I'm coming. Please, don't forget to leave me a tip. Did you go to bed so late, my friend, that you're having a hard time getting up now? That's right, sir. We were drinking until 3 a.m. And drink, sir, makes a man do 3 things. What 3 things does drink make a man do? Drinking turns your nose red, it puts you to sleep, and it makes you urinate. Lust it turns on, but also turns off. What I mean is, drinking stimulates desire but hinders performance. Therefore, too much drink is like a con artist when it comes to your sex drive. It sets you up for a fall. It gets you up, but it keeps you from getting off. It persuades you and discourages you. It gives you an erection but doesn't let you keep it, if you see what I'm saying. It makes you dream about erotic experiences, but then it leaves you asleep and needing to pee. I believe drink did all of this to you last night. It did, sir. It got me right in the throat. But I got even with my drink. I was too strong for it. Although it weakened my legs and made me unsteady, I managed to vomit it out and laid it flat on the ground. Is your master awake? Good morning, noble sir.
Good morning to both of you.
Is the king awake, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He commanded me to wake him up early. I've almost missed the time he requested.
I'll bring you to him.
I know the burden of hosting him is both an honor and a trouble, but that doesn't mean it's not a trouble just the same.
The work we enjoy is not really work. This is the door.
I'll wake him, because that's my job. Is the king leaving here today?
He is. He told us to arrange it.
The night has been chaotic. The wind blew down through the chimneys where we were sleeping. People are saying they heard cries of grief in the air, strange screams of death, and terrible voices predicting catastrophes that will usher in a woeful new age. The owl made noise at night. Some people say that the earth shook as if it had a fever.
It was a rough night.
I'm too young to remember anything like it. Oh, horror, horror, horror. This is beyond words and beyond belief.
What's the matter?
The worst thing imaginable has happened. A murderer has broken into God's temple and stolen the life out of it.
What are you talking about? The life?
Do you mean the king? Go into the bedroom and see for yourself. What's in there will make you freeze with horror. Don't ask me to talk about it. Go look and then do the talking yourselves. Wake up. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, let me redo that.
We're messing up today.
It's because their names are too close. Like Macbeth and Macduff. It's confusing.
Okay,
all right.
Okay, well, do we even know how to cut stuff out?
We can figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. From the top. Act 2, Scene 3. Let's go. Go into the bedroom and see for yourself. What's in there will make you freeze with horror. Don't ask me to talk about it. Go look and then do the talking yourselves. Wake up. Ring the alarm bell. Murder and treason. Banquo and Donalbain. Malcolm, wake up. Shake off sleep, which looks like death, and go look at death itself. Get up and look at this image of doomsday. Malcolm, Banquo, get up from your beds as if you were rising out of your own graves, and walk like ghosts to come witness this horror. Ring the bell. What's going on? Why is that terrifying trumpet calling together everyone who's sleeping in the house? Speak up and tell me. Oh, gentle lady, my news isn't fit for your ears. If I repeated it to you, it would kill you as soon as you heard it. Oh, Banquo, the king has been murdered. How horrible. What, in our own house? It would be a terrible event no matter where it happened. Dear Macduff, I beg you, tell us you were lying and say it isn't so.
If I had only died an hour before this event, I could say I had lived a blessed life, because from this moment on there is nothing worth living for. Everything is a sick joke. The graceful and renewed king is dead. The wine of life has been poured out, and only the dregs remain.
What's wrong?
You are, but you don't know it yet. The source from which your royal blood comes has been stopped.
Your royal father is murdered.
Who did it?
It seems that the guards who were supposed to be protecting his chamber did it. Their hands and faces were all covered with blood. So were their daggers, which we found on their pillows, unwiped. They stared at us in confusion. No one's life should have been entrusted to them.
And yet, I still regret the anger that drove me to kill them.
What did you do that for?
Is it possible to be wise, bewildered, calm, furious, loyal, and neutral all at once? Nobody can do that. The violent rage inspired me to love. By my love for Duncan caused me to act before I could think rationally and tell myself to pause. There was Duncan, his white skin all splattered with his precious blood. The gashes where the knives had cut him looked like wounds to nature itself. Then right next to him I saw the murders, dripping with blood, their daggers rudely covered in gore. Who could have restrained himself, who loved Duncan and had the courage to act on it?
Help me out of here, quickly. Take care of the lady.
Why are we keeping quiet? The two of us have the most to say in this matter.
What are we going to say here, where danger may be waiting to strike at us from anywhere? Let's get out of here. We haven't even begun to weep yet, but there will be time for that later.
And the time hasn't come yet for us to turn our deep grief into action.
Take care of the lady. End scene. Oh my god.